Pietros, or whatever you want to call it, is out. Okay, Jack Schaefer had a tough day on the Columbia River today.
You just get them to...
Okay, here we go on the upper turn. The west side is swinging around way wide now. All of the boats are swinging wide. In fact, Budweiser swings way wide. He wants to get a good shot at speed and get his speed up ready for this. So we've got about 15 seconds yet, and the Circus better cut down in speed. Jackpot's on the inside lane, followed by the Vantage Ultra, and right now the Circus is really cut down. The Budweiser is going to be up at full speed. Here goes the Circus cutting in, and we'll see whether we get a good start. It is a good start. On the inside is Jackpot. On the outside is the Budweiser coming to you. Circus is really going to have to hit it. It's in 5th spot right now.
Yeah, the Circus had to slow way down as he was too early, and the Budweisers got nearly a rooster tail lead over Lauterbach, who's inside him in lane 1, and Tommy Deeth going outside in lane 2 to Don.
And Budweiser rocking back and forth on his spots as he comes through the first turn. Has a good lead on Lauterbach in the Vantage Ultra plane, and they head up the back chute.
And up the back chute they go. The Budweiser out in front, and in 2nd spot the Vantage Ultra. And the Vantage Ultra, now comes Circus. It's moved into 3rd spot. It's going to pour on the steam right now. And Pocket Savers Plus is in 4th, and in 5th spot the Jackpot, Food Marts, and Jerry Hop in 5th. So here they come. There's lap number 1 just about to be over with, and we'll get the time for you as they come by for lap number 1. The Budweiser, and Tom Deeth knew what he was doing. He got into that position as Circus had to cut down in speed. The time for the Budweiser is 1:42.337, and the Ultra, the time 1:29. Here comes Circus in 3rd spot, and the time for the Circus is 1:20, Frank.
Well, they're all the way to Don by now, but I think Prevost may have been too concerned about getting inside Budweiser and was a little early at the start. Don.
Yeah, Budweiser really nailed that start. Tom Deeth knew exactly what he was doing, and he's really pouring the coal to it as he's widened his interval on the Vantage Ultra plane, and he's leading by about 20 boat lengths now as he's well up the backstretch. There's Lauterbach by our location, and Circus now completing the lower turn and up the back chute.
And it might be a race for second if the Circus can come close to catching the Vantage Ultra, because Budweiser has a commanding lead, and they're all spread about equal distance now for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. In fact, 4th, and then following in 5th spot is the Jackpot. But here comes the Budweiser, hugging the buoy on the upper west turn. And as they come toward you, Frank, they're just going by the official buoy.
Yes, and they're pretty well spaced right now. At first, I thought Circus was going to make a move on Lauterbach. Now, I'm not so sure, but Budweiser's just having a joy right out there. And Tommy Deeth has got plenty to spare right now. He's got too much. Lauterbach may be saving it for the final. He'll easily get in the final if he holds on to 2nd place. Circus looks like it's going a little inside now, but it's better than a rooster tail. Almost 2 rooster tail leads for Lauterbach in 2nd over the Circus. Don.
Nonetheless, the crowd over here on the Franklin County side loving it as Tom Deeth kicks it out of the turn and up the backstretch. Here comes Larry Lauterbach in Vantage Ultralight. Beautiful boat, but not pushing it at this point. Here comes Circus, and he had a little trouble in the turn, and he's on the backstretch.
And up the back chute, the times on that 2nd lap for Budweiser, 1:32, for the Ultra, 1:33, and for the Circus, 1:30. The rest, 1:11 and 1:02. And as they go into the upper turn, lap number 3, about halfway through this heat this afternoon, it seems like Lauterbach is caught up a little distance on the Budweiser. The Budweiser probably slowed down a little bit, and the Budweiser coming by the official buoy at the barge right now with a time on lap number 3 of 1:33, Frank.
Yes, Tommy Deeth looking good, and that's quite a compliment when you see a guy like Prevost follow you all over the race course beforehand. Deeth wired his start in the first heat on the inside. He wired this one on the outside, and he's having no trouble right now. If he can keep it together as he heads out of turn 1 into turn 2, and Don McInnes.
You bet. Sunday afternoon drive for Tom Deeth. He loves this boat, likes it a whole lot, and it is good to him in competition as he takes it again up the backstretch, followed by Larry Lauterbach in the Vantage Ultra Plane, and Circus. The other 2 boats still on the course, but well back.
And on the back chute they go, the Budweiser, the Ultra, the Vantage Ultra, and in 3rd spot, the Circus, and they still remain about the same distance. There goes the Pocket Savers Plus by the official buoy, and they'll get lapped this time. Probably the Jackpot in 5th place will get lapped. Lap number 4 is soon coming to a conclusion. They will be getting the green flag, meaning 1 lap to go, and Jackpot will get lapped. In lap number 4, the time for the Budweiser as it goes by our area and our vantage point right in front of us now, the time 1:29, really cutting back, Frank.
Doesn't look like any of the 3 top boats are going to have any trouble making the final anyway. Prevost back there in 3rd spot would get 2 1/4. That'd put him at 6:25. He'd still be ahead of Lauterbach anyway, so he'd be the second best qualifier as Budweiser goes to the lower turn on his final lap.
Well, if Tom Deeth can hold it together, he's got another 400 points, and it looks like he's got no trouble at all as he negotiates the lower turn beautifully up on the backstretch. Lauterbach also doing a yeoman job as he comes out of the turn. He'll have 300 points, and the Circus working on Jackpot Foods would like to lap him on this 5th and final lap. John Prevost at the controls.
Up the back chute, heading for the west turn, and the checkered flag will soon be out for the Budweiser, and the Budweiser will have another first place finish. But you got to remember, right about now is when the Miller High Life had its problems, but the Bud is running real smooth. It takes that last turn. It's coming by the official barge area, and the flag is going out. They're holding up the checkered flag. It comes by, and Tom Deeth and the Budweiser, another complete start and finish, 400 more points, 800 total so far. And here comes the Vantage Ultra, and 300 more points for Larry Lauterbach. Frank is heading down to the pit area and on the docks. Here comes the Circus with a 3rd place finish. The Circus will get 225 points, so it'll have 625 altogether. And of course, the Vantage Ultra has 600 points, and those 3 boats are definitely half of the field for the final, because Tom Deeth has 800 in the Budweiser and increases its lead as far as national point standings, because with that 400 in the first heat of the afternoon, it took over the first place honors for the national points. And now the Pocket Savers Plus, and 169 points for Steve David for a 4th place finish of another 169, and the total for that, 18, 12, 13, 338 for the Pocket Savers Plus, and the Jackpot will come in at 5th spot with 127, and 2 5th place finishes for the Jackpot, and 254 points total. So those 2 boats will have a little difficulty. Now, it's going to be kind of interesting. We've got 3 boats definitely that are going to be awful difficult as far as point standings. You can't beat Budweiser with 800, and then Circus, and those 3 boats, the Vantage Ultra, definitely assured a final spot in the afternoon. But at 338, the Pocket Savers, and at 254 Jackpot, it's going to be interesting to see what happens because of the other boats that we've got to watch at 300 points, the Madison and the Old Boy Alberto at 2 1/4, and Seco at 2 1/4. So it's going to be kind of interesting. Chip Hanauer would have to come in almost first to be in that Miller American boat in the final heat of the afternoon. So here comes lap number 5. Will be all finished now. The 4th place boat, 113 time for the U4, and that's Pocket Savers Plus, and Jackpot, the 5th place boat, 93 miles per hour, and it finishes. All the boats that started finished, and Pietro's, or the Tempest with Jack Schaefer Jr., did not start, so he stood up and had 2 do not starts today, and I would imagine feels kind of bad about it all.
Back at the dock now, but that isn't going to help him.
That must be a real tough feeling. I head back to the dock with a boat with that power, and to be sitting there in the position it is. So right now it looks like we only have Mr. Pringles as far as the turbine boats out on the course. The Miller are not making it, and it's doubtful. The 1-minute gun just sounded.
And not underway is Miss Rock, and
Miss
Miller
Rock
is at the dock. So you got your field out there. 4 boats.
4 boats is all we have. Did not start to Miller. No points today then for the Miller, and will not be in the final. The Miss Rock is 169 and did not start, so we've got 2 did not starts already with just 4 boats in the field. The Old Boy Oberto, Mr. Pringles, the Seco, and the Miss Madison. So we'll have to get a real handle on what happens here, because the Old Boy Oberto and Miss Madison and Seco all have a good chance, as did the Rock, if it did well, getting into the finals. So those 3 boats have a chance to get in depending on the final point total. In fact, would just have to about finish 1, 2, 3 to get into the finals this afternoon.
And of course, the Pringles is going to have to pick up some points here to salvage what
Okay, here they come for the start.
Here they come for the start. On the inside is the Pringles, and it looks like it's going to be a good start. It is. Pringles on the inside and Seco on the outside, Frank.
And Madison got another good start again. And in last place is the turbine boat right now, is Pringles, but he's on the inside. Madison is going way wide. He has the lead on the Oberto as they hit the entrance buoy into turn 1 and head toward Don.
Madison coming around the turn has gone wide, and that leaves the door open to some of the other boats as the Old Boy Oberto has momentarily taken the lead. Now Madison hustling up on the outside.
Pringles is inside Oberto. Pringles is inside Oberto.
And on the back chute, there they go. The inside is Mr. Pringles, but he is in 3rd spot. Now he's going to be taking 2nd, because out in front is the Miss Madison, the U6, and Ron Snyder has a 2nd place finish in an earlier heat as they head into the upper turn. We're going to have the west end of the course. They're bumping back and forth over that water. It looks a little rough there. Oh, the Madison, then the Pringles. Man, oh man, the Pringles went sponson to sponson there. The Pringles out in front as it comes down for the first lap. And the Madison coming on the outside. And here comes the Pringles, the time, 1:33. The U6, the Madison with 1:31 and 1:27, Frank.
Okay, it's Pringles in first on the inside. Now he's out to about 6 boat length. Then he really accelerates going into the turn. Oberto is in 3rd. Madison on the outside in 2nd.
Boy, Scott Pierce doesn't look like he's saving the equipment for anything. He really comes through that turn. Off the exit buoy and up the back chute, followed by Holset, Miss Madison, and Old Boy Oberto in that order.
Up the back chute they go, and still Pringles with that rainbow color as it goes up the back chute. In 1st place, the Miss Madison and Ron Snyder in 2nd. In 3rd spot, we have the Seco, and the 4th place boat out on the race course is the Old Boy Oberto and George Woods. So there we have your positioning of the 4 boats. 2 did not start the race, the Miller Highlight and the KISW Miss Rock. Here they come around for lap number 2. We'll give you the speeds of lap number 2. Mr. Pringles comes by our official barge, and the time for the Pringles on lap number 2 is 1:35. The time for the U6, the Miss Madison, is 1:33. To Frank.
And it is still Pringles out in front. He's got just about a rooster tail on Ronnie Snyder right now, and they head into the apex of corners 1 and 2. It's Madison on the outside, but he's just giving chase now. And Dean, I've got Oberto in 3rd, and not the Seco.
You're right. We just corrected that ourselves as they came by the official barge. We had the other 2, the Oberto with 1:26. Old Boy Oberto 1:26, and the U3 had a time of 1:16. The Seco. Up the back chute they go, and still in the lead, Mr. Pringles, Scott Pierce, no points. It needs a 1st place finish. Might get in with a 2nd, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Lap number 3, a little over halfway around the race course right now on the 5 laps that it will have to complete. Frank, as they come around on this 3rd lap, it's a disappointment for the Miller, I'm sure, not to be in the final this afternoon.
It is a disappointment for the Miller, because that means they'll be out of the final for sure. The interesting thing on this race, and you still got Snyder in 2nd place as he comes by?
Yes, we do.
Okay. The interesting thing is that the Oberto is professed to be the fastest piston boat of all time. And look at Snyder right out of the box in the Allison, and he's got the lead. It looks like Oberto is going to give him a little bit of challenge now as he's coming up in his rooster tail on the inside. But it's amazing performance by this brand new Ron Jones hull.
And the Pringles continues the lead as Scott Pierce is...
Oberto's cutting inside, Don. You got a great race right in front of you.
Terrific. Oberto and Holset Miss Madison dueling for 2nd and 3rd. And Holset Miss Madison still has it by about 3 boat lengths. But Oberto with George Wood is hanging right in on his rooster tail.
And a big commanding lead for Pringles and Scott Pierce, but up the back chute they go. And a very close race, as we said, for that 2nd and 3rd spot as the Columbia Cup The Heat 2B has 3 laps completed. They're going into lap 4, and they will be getting the green flag as they come by the official start area here on the barge. And lap number 4, we have a time of 1:30 for the U8 and Mr. Pringles. And that second place race is a close one on the outside.
Oh.
On the outside is the Miss Madison. Now
Somebody's going
second.
dead. Somebody just went dead. Was that Oberto on the inside?
Oberto just went dead, but it's still trying to go, Frank.
But Madison had it, and what was a great race. The best piston boats. And right now, Ronnie Snyder has that sleek-looking Miss Madison in second place as Pierce is already through turn 2.
And it's definitely gone completely dead now. Oh, boy, Oberto. George Woods, U2 in front of the official barge, is dead. But he's all right. There's no flames. There's nothing. The motor just cut out on him. Here comes the third-place boat now, and that would be the Seco and Mitch Evans driving in the U3. Up the back chute, Don, they went past you, and it's still out in front, Mr. Pringles.
Oh, yeah, he's having no trouble at all. As a matter of fact, as you pointed out, he has cut down on the amount of pedal he's putting to the metal, and right now he is saving it up for the final. But he's got a nice lead and a nice afternoon of racing here in the Tri-Cities.
And the checkered flag for Pringles at 133.908 miles per hour. Scott Pierce, Frank, it went by you. It's coming to you. And
yes, he's got to be really happy with that 400 points. And now is it enough to get into the final? I think it will be. You take a look at your chart there and see.
Oh, it will be. He will get into the final. There's no doubt. And here comes the second place finisher, the whole set Miss Madison, number 2 with 300 points, definitely into the final with 600 points now total.
What a performance by that boat. Boy, that has been awesome. It's given some advantage. Great racing here, and even if Prevost and Pierce were playing with him in these 2 heats, he still ran some very fast competitive laps in that Allison-powered Ron Jones hull, the whole set Miss Madison.